Hello and welcome back to Veronica's Journal, where we discuss spirituality, psychology, and mental health. So together we evolve as a community that's unstoppable. How's it going, guys? Hope you're doing well. Today's video is part 2 of Gangstalking Exposed. In this video, I'll be sharing some more tactics used by gang stalkers to target their victims. And I'll also share what kind of people use these tactics. And also, I'll be sharing the motives behind gang stalking. My gang stalking lasted 8 years. It was constant, 24/7 for 8 years. It was literal hell on earth, and I wasn't sure if I'd ever make it out alive. They tried to me in various ways, but due to God's grace, I'm still here talking to you. So without further ado, let's do a deep dive into this subject. Main harassment tactics include surveillance, being followed, electronic surveillance, computer and phone hacking, monitoring all online activities, bugging off home. Profiles are built to identify any and all weaknesses and insecurities to be used later. Information is usually obtained through sexual partners or trusted people in their lives. So someone close to you has betrayed you. Next is conditioning, where victims are sensitized to certain stimuli, like everywhere you go, someone will cough as they walk past you. The goal is to make you self-police and then think anyone who coughs is involved in the harassment. Yep. So conditioning can also include hand gestures and overt use of color in people's clothing, like everyone you see is wearing red, or cars of a certain color following you. They could all be white or red cars usually, but can be any color of the same color. And then these same cars will turn their headlights on to full bright at night just so they can blind you. And this is called brightening. Next one is anchoring, where someone will provide false rationale for the harassment. Often, many false possible rationales are planted to keep the victim confused, and the focus of the harassment cycles from one possible reason to another, round and round and round, so as to keep the victim guessing in a self-perpetuating guessing game. You know, where every scenario you are to blame, and it causes self-doubt, fear, intimidation, and ultimately a cycle of destructive thoughts. Next is mobbing, where everywhere you go, you will see an overt display of people following you around, and often using words you have been conditioned to, or your name being called just to draw your attention. Next one is street theater, where a group will perform an overt activity like fake confrontation or scenarios designed to test your reactions. It often takes form of, like, say, a couple people who position themselves near you, and then they have some kind of a conversation or a fight using many of your conditioned words or something pertaining to your particular situation and your sensitivities. The next is the use of directional speakers. And these have the ability to direct sound to one single individual in a crowded room. And this can feel really freaky. You know it if you've been through it. This particular item is ultimately the most used. It's called V2K, or voice to skull. And it's used extensively in the psychological breakdown of the victim. It is used to cause the victim to doubt their sanity and drive them into the mental health system, and to torment and never give the victim a moment of privacy or peace. And if they do enter the mental health system, then harassment escalates dramatically. You know why? Because now the victim has been discredited and can be labeled as crazy or someone with mental health problems. If they do speak out about the harassment, that is. Yep. The next one is electronics to affect your eyesight and balance. This tactic was originally developed for the military and police crowd control. It's called dazzling. And it even has the ability to make you vomit. The next one is sound campaigns, which is a community harassment technique. What happens here is abnormal levels of sound are directed at the victim and their home. This includes cars deliberately braking or accelerating when they pass by your house, or people talking excessively loud at odd hours of the night. Also, amplification of sound using directional speakers so that the external sounds that you previously could not hear now can be heard, like big garbage trucks, which are way far away, and other heavy vehicles, and countless other tactics, deliberate tactics like this. Next is sleep deprivation. This is perhaps the most insidious tactics used, where victims are woken up multiple times a night, and they can be kept awake for days at a time. It's brutal. You know it. The effects are dramatic and completely debilitating, affecting your concentration, mood, making you irritable, changing your appearance badly, and it significantly impacts all areas of their life, job performance, relationships, and it significantly aids in discrediting the victim as they appear unorganized, disabled, and in this state, it's impossible to function, leave alone carrying out day-to-day ordinary tasks. Back in the day, sleep deprivation was one of the torture tactics used in concentration camps. The next one is baiting or entrapment, where victims are harassed to the point that they lash out and commit a crime, such as assault or vandalism, as they try to locate the source of their harassment out of frustration. Yeah. See, the harassers will actively try to provoke verbal or physical confrontations, especially after a long period of sleep deprivation. It's not good. Or they're prompted into an activity which can then be used as a leverage, like affairs, sexuality, drug use, or other criminal activity. Now, the most important and literally paralyzing tactic is the use of directed energy weapons, which use concentrated energy from electromagnetic technology. These DEW have the capability to damage physical targets over several kilometers with high precision and accuracy. That's right. High energy lasers are used, which can engage targets at the speed of light with pinpoint accuracy. High power microwave weapons have a shorter range, but can impact targets over a wide area. The millimeter waves directed energy weapon has various non-lethal military applications, including crowd control and area denial. It's capable of producing significant injuries and burns. Particle beam weapons have a strong penetration ability, high speed, and high energy. Guys, I had burn marks, bruises all over my body, and there was not a thing I could do to prove where it all came from. It sucks. And it feels like you're doomed and no one understands you. It's devastating. It's literally hell on earth. They would target my heart, lungs, head, and I felt like I was being electrocuted all over my body. Even under my feet, I'd have electric shocks while walking around in my condo. Next on the list is witchcraft and occult practices. Use of occult techniques used by harassers, including spells and curses aimed at controlling or harming victims spiritually. These are often associated with dark cults and covens, and they intertwine with cultural and spiritual beliefs, adding layers of complexity to any kind of investigation. In short, gangstalking is witchcraft mixed with technology. Also, destiny swapping and parasitic draining. This form of harassment, it involves the metaphysical, where the gang stalkers are a part of dark spiritual entities or organizations. They attempt to usurp victims' potential or life path. They are alleged to steal ideas and vital energy to enhance their own status and well-being, effectively draining the victim's resources and vitality. Next is slander, rumors, and gossip. An additional and potent tool in the gangstalking arsenal is the strategic use of slander, rumors, and gossip to discredit and isolate the victim within their community. By spreading untruths and manipulative stories, harassers create environments of mistrust and fear, often pitting friends, family, and colleagues against the victim. This tactic not only undermines the victim's support network, but it also serves as a psychological weapon, further entrenching feelings of helplessness and isolation. They use the divide and conquer techniques. These methods are linked with spreading rumors and fostering distrust. By creating rifts between the victim and those in their immediate social or professional or even family circles, perpetrators can more effectively control and manipulate situations to their advantage. And this weakens the victim's defenses and ability to seek help. It's sad, isn't it? Next is black bag jobs. It is a term when a harasser breaks into the victim's property and places something or deliberately moves things around. The purpose is to cause self-doubt and fear that their property is being accessed and to cause paranoia. And lastly, gangstalkers rely on disbelief and discrediting the victim. The harassment is designed to mimic mental health issues. They also rely on their abuse being so extreme, so pervasive, so fundamentally immoral as to be disbelieved. If you try to prove it, they gaslight and turn it around and paint the victims as paranoid or irrational. Victims are made to feel helpless, as every attempt to defend themselves is used against them. And when they seek help, they're met with disbelief or even open hostility. Now you probably wonder, what kind of people are behind this kind of demonic harassment? The kind of people that are gang stalkers, they abuse the power and influence. That's what it is. It's a total abuse of power and influence. Perpetrators in positions of authority, including those within religious or spiritual groups, and even unseen with the public fronts. These people often use their roles to facilitate harassment. This may involve manipulating law enforcement, leveraging influence over community resources, or using professional networks to isolate and strategically target individuals. You see, victims frequently report extensive breaches of privacy, such as unauthorized surveillance and hacking of electronic devices. This indicates deep intrusions into their personal lives with perpetrators. And sometimes part of unseen groups or even secretive organizations, secret societies, accessing confidential information to manipulate and control. Now, let's talk about the motives behind gang stalking. The motives for gang stalking are diverse and often disturbing, reflecting a range of unethical intentions. In instances where the target is involved in activism or has acted as a whistleblower. Perpetrators or gang stalkers, often representing powerful interests or entities, use gang stalking tactics to suppress and discourage any opposition that could threaten their status quo or expose wrongdoing. Gang stalking is also described as a tool for broad societal control, orchestrated by influential groups aiming to destabilize or manipulate specific communities or individuals. This tactic can be employed to enforce conformity and discourage certain behaviors, or even as a means of societal experimentation. Another motive is financial gain. Gang stalkers may be motivated by the prospect of personal gain, whether it is through direct payment for their harassment activities or the sabotage of the victim's career or business opportunities, or the theft of their spiritual or creative energy. This type of harassment is marked by selfish and exploitative approach, with the harassers seeking to elevate their own power, status, or financial standing at the expense of the victim's well-being. In some cases, gang stalking is fueled by personal jealousy and envy. Believe it or not, these gang stalkers may target individuals out of resentment for their success, relationships, or other attributes that they don't have. This motive is deeply personal and reflects a desire to diminish or undermine the victim's achievements and happiness. That's sad. Some individuals are coerced into participating in gang stalking through manipulation or blackmail. Yeah. They might be forced to harass targets due to threats against them or their loved ones, or because of compromising information held over them by the orchestrators. And this adds another layer of complexity and moral ambiguity to the practice. As some gang stalkers themselves might be victims of coercion. You don't know that, right? Another unsettling motive involves gang stalking being used as a form of entertainment for the perpetrators. That's cruel. And these people treat the harassment like a game or a competition. It's very sadistic. It's a sadistic perspective, and it's very troubling, as it turns the severe distress and harm of victims into a source of amusement and competition among groups. It's ridiculous. This kind of motive underscores a deep lack of empathy and disregard for human rights. As participants in these games seek thrill at the expense of another's well-being. Not cool. These motives collectively showcase the dark and complex nature of gangstalking, highlighting the need for greater awareness and protective measures for those who find themselves targets of such harassment. You know, it's very important to build awareness. Building awareness about gangstalking is crucial for fostering a supportive community response. You know, we need to educate our community leaders, law enforcement, mental health professionals, general practitioners, and the general public about the signs and effects of such harassment. By integrating this knowledge into community safety programs and advocating for clearer legal definitions and protections, communities can empower residents and professionals to recognize and address these incidents, like responsibly. You know, workshops, informational campaigns, and collaboration with mental health organizations can help demystify the gangstalking, and it also ensures victims receive the necessary support and encouraging legislative changes for better protection and recognition. Awareness is the key, guys. No matter what you do not fear. Now that you know all the tactics and motives behind the gangstalking, I wish I knew it when I was going through it. I hope this video helped you guys. Share your experiences in the comments below and let me know if you want me to make another video on this. Hit that like button right now and share it with someone who needs it. Subscribe to the channel. Until next time, love y'all.